Okay, so Dhanvin.
Yes.
And let's introduce Dhanvin. Dhanvin
Hi.
is from he's an F&B consultant. He has a couple of his own restaurants. He also sets up. He helps people set up their restaurants. He also runs a restaurant called Happie Calories, which we are going to fucking be reviewing as we're going to be
Alright.
moving forward, and we're going to talk about the Happy Calorie and what the fuck's going on. But the irony is, Happy Calorie is like a healthy thing, but he also has like unhealthy food also. So like we're gonna go
Yeah. Under
into
different brands.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
But I want to start, and I'll tell you where I want to start from. I want to start from a small fucking story.
Okay.
I got a call 2 days back.
Got it.
Like every other call that comes to me, where people are coming from Dubai or Qatar or whatever the fuck they're coming from,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a little bit money kept aside,
Correct.
and they're like, my restaurant dal raha hai. Every part of my body wants to scream and tell them, don't. Because I've seen so many fucking people lose money in restaurants, so many people lose money in that entire F&B space, that it is ridiculous. Number one, is it just because I am seeing it, or is it genuinely there that people are losing a lot of money in F&B?
Yes, that is the trend by and large that people do tend to burn a lot of capital in the first. I would like to say 18 months, but usually it's 3 years. So
The 1,000-day mark.
yeah,
But do you
does
think
tend to
after the
happen.
1,000-day mark they're able to survive? Because I'm seeing fuckers shut down
If
within
they are
2
in a
years.
niche space and they have sort of figured out to do something different than what the competition is doing, yeah, no doubt. But I'll tell you, like, it is dependent on what kind of overheads also you have on a day-to-day basis. Like, traditional business rules apply here a lot because it's very labor intensive. You have high rentals, especially in cities like Delhi and Mumbai, right? I would have a fair idea about what's happening in Mumbai.
That's okay. We can
So
talk about Bombay.
yeah, so Bombay is if you're doing an out and out restaurant with seating and a bar, and like today you need to have a great location,
Okay.
then
Before you go ahead,
yeah,
I want to talk about two different aspects, right? One is the F&B, that is the bar alcohol space. That's a completely different thing.
got it.
And then there's the restaurants, and then the third aspect of it is a substrata of the restaurants, that is the cloud kitchens.
Got it.
Cloud kitchens को side रखो, bars को side रखो, restaurants as a whole, and restaurants when as a whole में I will further go and attach cafes, which is the most ridiculous thing that people are fucking investing into.
Very
is
true.
fucking cafes.
Yeah.
Why do people think that, like, अगर मैं इंजीनियर नहीं है तो मैं इंजीनियरिंग का कंपनी नहीं शुरू करेगा? ये चूतिया होटेलियर नहीं है, रेस्टोरेंट नहीं है, तो रेस्टोरेंट क्यों खोल रहा है? Why do people assume it's going to be fucking easy to do this?
Because it does look glamorous from the outside. That's the long and short of it. It looks very glamorous from the outside, and that's what draws a lot of people in to it. And like when you are sitting out there and when you're just visiting a place and you happen to be visiting on a public holiday or on a weekend, and you see, oh, this place is crowded and this place has a lot of footfall. You're not there on a Monday afternoon, you're not there on a Tuesday afternoon seeing the 50 tables the 50-seater restaurant that's completely empty, and the overheads that apply on a day-to-day basis. You're not factoring those things in.
How much on average does it cost to put up, say, a restaurant, a decent restaurant?
It depends upon the square footage and the kind of concept you're going in for.
Mid-range.
In today's day and age, with interiors and kitchen equipment, basic, you're looking at around two and a half CR. 2.5 CR.
2.5 CR.
Yeah.
Like when I say medium, what are you thinking medium?
I'm thinking 15 tables, 10, 12 to 15 tables.
And food pricing में कितना रहेगा?
Not very competitive. But yeah, like not gourmet for sure.
And should someone who
Casual
has,
dining experiences.
so like chicken tikka masala, shit like that. Okay.
Like a copper chimney vibe or like a cream center vibe.
Okay, but do you think someone who's not from the F&B space should fucking enter F&B?
I would say in Bombay, if you don't have a property of your own, then don't enter the restaurant space.
If you don't have a property at all, like,
Because the rentals is what the cream on the ऊपर का मलाई है और तुम वो रेंटल में ही गवा दोगे तो व्हाट यू गोना ओन.
Okay, I understand 2.5 CR for a medium scale business. I would still fucking tell people कि bro तेरे को पैसा कमाना है F&B. When I say F&B, I'm talking about food and beverages as a whole, not specifically bars, not specifically restaurants. As a whole, I feel there are genuinely only 3 places where you can genuinely make money. Okay.
Okay.
Number 1 is your Shivsagar types.
Because of the volume.
Because
Correct.
of the fucking volume.
Correct.
It's high volume, veg meals, fucking sells. There is no occasion to that shit. I remember बैंगलोर में टेक पार्क्स होते हैं, ठीक है. टेक पार्क के बाजू में तुम्हारा जो शिवसागर जो बनता है तुम्हारा 80 रुपीज मील, दैट इज योर राइस सांबर फलाना फलाना फलाना. भाई वॉल्यूम में क्या खतरनाक खेल.
So I'll give you an example, right? So two of the brands that we are involved in, one is called Shriji's, which is your traditional exact Shiv Sagar kind of vibe.
Okay.
All right. And one is a Queso, which becomes your casual dining, how we spoke about like just a minute ago. Now, these are, though they are both restaurants, they are two entirely different businesses. My consumption of rice at Shriji's would be 400 kgs. My consumption of rice at Queso would be 40 kgs. All right. One is volume. One is based on, one I make money on volume. One I make money on the finesse of the product. You understand?
Okay. I'm scared for people.
Got it?
And I'm genuinely scared for a lot of people because, especially from where I come from a city called Mangalore, and there is excessive money being flown into restaurants and cafes. Cafes is a fucking ridiculously like, I feel like तुम this is what I ask people. I'm like, तुम पैसा कमाने के लिए बना रहे हो या फिर like नाम कमाने के लिए?
I think वो लोग का strategy जो कैफे में enter कर रहा है ना, वो लोग, I think their strategy is different. They are looking at a multi-outlet strategy and a branding strategy as opposed to earning from the get-go from one outlet.
But I don't think इतना लोग सोचते हैं. भाई you are thinking from that level because you've been in this game for how long? Your second
I've
generation.
grown up in this game.
Yeah,
yes.
you're fucking second generation. You've been consulting in this game. Your family's been in this game.
Yeah.
You've lost money. You've made money. You've had comebacks. You know, even then, I'm assuming it's going to take you a while before you decide you're going to start something or close something.
Correct. Very true. I mean, like even before, so Happie Calories started with the idea that, okay, fine, I'll enter the cloud kitchen space, but I don't want to run one single brand from the cloud kitchen because even though it's a cloud kitchen and my overheads and my costs are low, it is still not going to cut it.
What's the cost for a cloud kitchen?
If you want to do things by the book, because there now again in the cloud kitchen space there are people who are purely operating only on an FSSI license, so they don't have to have the what do you call the necessary legal like BMCL license नहीं रहता वो लोग के पास.
But how do you operate something that is a food thing without a BMC health license?
Because your online aggregators are only are listing you only on an FSSI license or just an FSSI application pending license approval. But it's a gray area.
Isn't that like a risky fucking thing going on?
It is, because now today when you have a BMC health license, you are required to make you are required to be what do you call it? You are required to fill out that checklist that they have. Your staff needs to have a 6-month medical. Your water goes every 6 months for testing. There are a bunch of.
कौन करता है ये?
मैं करता हूँ.
तू छोड़ के कौन करता है? Because
90% of लोग नहीं करते. But
I don't think even full-fledged restaurants do this.
No, they do. Restaurants full-fledged do because they are too much in the eye.
इसमें actually कितना है या actually घूस निकाल के कितना जा रहा है? Because कौन पानी टेस्टिंग करता है bro?
करते हैं. There are official labs. We do it with the Equinox labs every 6 months.
And you're telling, okay, say for example there are 100 restaurants.
Yeah.
What do you think is the percentage of restaurants that might be actually following the guidelines?
Restaurants, quite a few. Cloud kitchens, 90% of them don't.
And is that the reason why we are having stories like अभी जो Zomato का story आया जो एक cloud kitchen से 200 restaurant चला रहा है
वो कर सकते हो. तुम legally भी सही है and it is not bad business sense, but प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है ना कि ये लोगों के पास बीएमसी हेल्थ लाइसेंस नहीं रहता है, और जब भी बीएमसी हेल्थ लाइसेंस नहीं है, यू आर नॉट, नोबडी इज कमिंग एंड नॉकिंग ऑन योर डोर एंड आस्किंग यू फॉर स्टाफ का हेल्थ सर्टिफिकेट्स, nobody is knocking on your door and saying water test report दिखाओ. You more or less are not fire license compliant.
Is this
You know?
legal then?
It is in the gray areas because FSSI is food safety. So they say that FSSI है तो फिर food safety है, पर ये लोग only application पे भी listing कर देते कभी कभार, तो pending approval.
Okay, let's go back.
Yeah.
Let's go back to restaurants. Okay. My genuine, like, if you were to kind of say, I have no idea F&B में क्या चल रहा है, मैं बस दुबई में 10-15 लाख कमाया, चल 40 लाख कमाया, और अभी मैं इंडिया में आया, और अभी मैं बोल रहा है मेरे को होटल खोलने का है.
Okay.
तू मेरे को क्या बोल? Genuine advice, someone who has no background. Now, considering you are not a consulting with him, you are talking to him as
I would
somebody...
talk to anybody as I'm consulting with him, and then obviously because when we come
No,
on,
like when I say you are not consulting with him in the sense where अभी तू consult करेगा तो you will be able to help him hold his hand. अभी this is just a meeting. तू अभी इसको वापस मिलने वाला नहीं है. You have
I would
no
still
idea.
give him a very
Okay, tell
advice
what's the
as
lowdown?
I
What's
would,
the lowdown?
I would firstly ask you how much money do you want to come in with.
से 40 से 60 लाख.
तो फिर तुम difficult. Because
this
my
is the median investment that people are coming to me with. This is the reason I'm asking.
because my advice would be that firstly buy the property and then start your licensing procedure. Okay, but because today now I have, like, just some time ago I was in the market to look for, like, some property for a restaurant and good footfall area, because that's what you have to go for a restaurant to be successful. So good footfall area where, and most times your location determines the concept you will come in with, correct? Because koi location pe footfall अच्छा रहेगा पर उधर an XYZ concept might not work, something else entirely would work. So in that case, you're looking at a bare minimum of 3.5 to 4 lakh rupees rent per month.
And how much should we so we have something called operational burn. So whenever we are raising investment as a business, we consider at least 6 to 12 months of operational
Correct.
burn, because you're like 6 महीना तो भूल जाओ कि धंधा आएगा नहीं आएगा.
Correct.
तुम forget about it. We consider it as a part of the investment. How much?
In a competitive industry like restaurants, you should consider 12 to 18 months of operational burn. So you need working capital to sustain for those 12 to 18
So
months.
your total
Before
capital
you
plus
hit-
your operational capital for 18 months before you hit ground running.
Before you hit green, unless and until your concept is very different and very unique, and
What's the biggest mistake that people do coming into this? Also before you answer that, ये तुमने बोला बॉम्बे के लिए, ठीक है? What about cities like Bangalore and tier 3 cities where the rents aren't that high, and
those have good opportunity to do this.
really, do you genuinely believe that F&B is something that people should fucking invest their money in?
It is
But you understand my skepticism.
Yes,
I see
I
too many
do,
fucking
because-
people shutting down every fucking day. I've seen your food. Your food is amazing. I understand where the fuck you're coming from.
I'll tell you what,
Your
the
2
food
decades of
alone doesn't cut
experience.
it. It is, see, today the food, when you're starting an eatery, the food has to be fucking amazing. If it's not, then don't get into it. That's like
How does one solve it when he's not from the F&B space?
There are multiple solutions. I would say the best one is go with industry leader food consultant. There are quite a few out there. And we have worked with 1 or 2 in the past. They are really good. They know what they are doing. So, I mean, it's a given. If you're starting an eatery, the food has to be banging or don't get into it.
Like, get a great chef.
Get a great chef, get a food consultant who can give you a great menu,
What's the difference between getting a chef? Isn't the
Chef
chef's
can
job?
execute what the food consultant can. A food consultant can give you the vision of a menu. A chef can execute it. A executive chef's job
What
is.
should be the salary of the chef?
Oh, dude, it entirely depends. I know executive chefs who draw
You know, I'm sorry, I'm going into the nitty-gritties
Yeah.
because I want
Yes, yes,
either
yes.
number one, I
I
want to understand whether there is something I'm not seeing. Number two, if because I know a lot of people who are getting into this and it's fucking scary, man. I've seen way too many fucking people like, and I don't know what to tell them. I genuinely don't know what to
yeah,
tell
and
them.
as again I said, the glamour of it all, really intrigues a lot of people, but they really don't know. Even the industry leaders, I don't want to name a few restaurants, but think about the biggest in Bombay, like the good ones at Bandra, who have had second outlets at Worli,
Bro,
and
I just found out one of the like there's a Chinese, I don't want to give the name again.
Mhm,
It's on Zomato, Swiggy. It looks so fucking fancy.
mhm,
Okay, it starts with an M. If you
mhm,
can figure it out, don't eat from there.
mhm.
I it looks so fancy and the pricing is like $500 for like a fucking like your
Entire meal.
no $500 for like just your fried rice.
Oh,
Okay, like
okay.
350 $400
Oh,
for
so
your fucking chicken chili. So like, you might assume it
premium
is coming
price.
from like some very
Really
expensive
fancy
as fucking place. But holy fuck, it is a shady, like if you go see the location,
Exactly.
you will kill, bro.
Yeah.
Like that shit is because you would
Yeah.
assume Kim Zomato mein, okay, you don't
Did
buy
you
the
manage
cheap
to?
thing,
Did you manage to glance into the kitchen?
bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm never ordering from that.
Nightmares?
Oh
Yeah.
shit, bro!
Yeah.
I'm never ordering from bro. And the thing is, you would assume going into a
Yeah.
Swiggy, Zomato, okay, chalo, the cheap ones you can assume it's coming from a fuck all
No.
place. The expensive ones, the ones with good packaging, like these
Correct.
really
Yeah.
expensive packaging, is coming
Yeah.
from like something.
But that's the
fancy.
game, right? Like that's the hook, line, and sinker. Like you are not like 90% of the people aren't going to go visit the kitchen that they're calling from. So give it a premium look and feel, and like
How does one verify this as a consumer?
difficult to answer. But I would say I personally tell my family members that order from wherever you want, but make sure you see the kitchen before you do that once.
How does one do that, bro?
Show up at the place and demand that I'll only order from you if I get to have a look at your kitchen.
Bro, 80% of the restaurants will shut down.
Yeah. Yes.
Like
Yes.
the substandard shit that is
Yes.
on Swiggy, Zomato right now
Yes.
is ridiculous in the name of cloud
Yeah.
kitchen. Kya chutiap chal raha hai, bro?
Maha chutyap chal raha.
Like, and I know because I think I've seen your setup, I've seen pictures, and I know because you
Correct.
guys use very like it's extensive, right? Is it? Do you ever feel like fuck this? I'll just do whatever the fuck these other guys are
See,
doing
the
because
thing is
you are spending so much more money.
we are spending a lot more money on hygiene protocols as well, right? Like, तुमको A1 hygiene maintain karna hai, then you need more staff, you need more resources, you need more washing liquids, you need more of a bunch of stuff that goes into maintaining. So it is resource and labor extensive. I wouldn't say extensive, but it does require additional resources and labor. And
But do you like, bro, to ye industry mein, don't you just feel like saying fuck it? वैसे भी because you are operate, like for example, Happie Calories is a cloud kitchen.
correct.
Nobody is going to ever check.
Yes.
You can just as easily do what the other fuckers are doing and save more than 40% of your initial investment. I'm sure of it.
True. Like I can save a bunch of money on just not being compliant officially, and saving a lot of license renewal fees and all of that. But tomorrow when it does become a mandate, then what do I do?
Are
Like,
you sure it's going to become a Are you sure it's going to
I'm
become a
hoping
mandate?
it does, because I mean, like, I do myself order a lot from outside, and not just my places. So I want to know that my friends, my family are ordering from places that's not going to give them a stomach bug or is not going to fuck with their health in the long term. So
What's the biggest mistake that people who are starting out new restaurants do?
they
First restaurants, then we are going to go cafes, then we're going to go cloud
restaurants,
kitchen.
Yes.
Restaurant first.
They are not real with the kind of expenses that lay ahead of them.
What do you mean? Elaborate.
In Bombay today, if you need a alcohol license, up right now, if the premises that you are renting out, say, doesn't already have an alcohol license that somebody else was using before you, and you need to do a renewal, then you're fine. by the way, renewal fee on a out and out alcohol license is 8.5 lakhs plus on a yearly basis. All right. And today, if you're going to do the legwork and get a new license on a premises that doesn't have the license, then you're looking at a cost structure anywhere between 12 to 20 lakhs.
Okay, by the way, just FYI, the same thing in Bangalore goes between, for beer license, it goes to about 75 lakhs, and for hard liquor licenses, it goes up to 1.5, 1.75 CR.
This is for
because
restaurants or wine shops?
for restaurants, wine shops, for everything, because
Correct.
in Karnataka, the alcohol licenses stopped. The alcohol
Yeah.
licenses completely is gone
Correct.
bad. So there's no
Yeah.
new licenses. So you're
That's what's
basically
happened
buying
In
older
Bombay,
licenses.
with wine shop licenses, like the liquor shop licenses, like they were only 500 or 400 or something, and now you have to like buy the license from
Or
another.
lease.
Yeah, or lease.
Yeah.
And
So okay.
similar costs involved there.
What about restaurants? Say, what about a non-veg restaurant that does like your regular chicken tikka type, chicken tikka, chicken
The
malai.
run of the mill stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Your daily meals.
just the kitchen and the restaurant setup. You're asking me?
What is the biggest mistakes that they do?
They don't. I would say the ones that fail, the mistakes that they are doing is they are spending too much money upfront on the interior of the restaurant and going like way beyond 2.5 3 cr, and then they end up doing run of the mill products, substandard products, and which like 10 other people in a 2 kilometer radius are doing.
So spend
And-
less on the interiors, more on your food.
Yeah.
All right. What about the cafe? What about the cafes? Yeah. Would you ever open a fucking cafe?
Dude, so I've been looking at these new age coffee shops that have been coming up, and like they're popping up left, right, and center.
You mean the
some of them.
Blue Tokai types, or
Yes,
you?
exactly.
See,
the
Blue Tokai. You need to
type.
understand. Blue Tokai is a complete. I'm a
Yeah.
fucking. I love Blue Tokai. I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
coffee from Blue Tokai. Fucking. But the thing is, they have a complete retail market
Correct.
that they sell fucking amazing coffee. Their business
Exactly.
model is different from what I'm talking about in terms of what these fuckers are doing.
Standalone cafes.
The standalone cafes, which
Correct.
is just like very bougie cafes, which are like 500-600
Yeah.
bucks. Ka fucking who gives? It shuts down in a year
Correct.
max.
Yes. And this is something that coming from the industry I've observed over the last 5 to 7 years, right? That these cafes shut down. They have a very short lifespan.
Then why are people still fucking putting money in
Because
this?
it does look glamorous for them from the outside. That's the
But
entire-
do they ever make money?
They make money if they can find franchise it.
Okay, let's talk about franchise. Okay,
Correct.
let's talk about franchise. If somebody wants, say for example, I have people who want to kind of put money in and they don't want to run the business, they will go into like a FOCO model, right?
Correct.
A FOCO model basically. Can you explain? Do you know the 4 models, the franchise models? That's
no.
okay. So franchise has 4 basic general models that they run on.
Yeah.
One is franchise run, franchise owned. That is
Yeah.
4. Like franchise run, franchise owned basically means कि franchise चलाएगा, franchise का ही पूरा 100% franchise का ही है, so second outlet होगा. दूसरा है franchise run, investor owned. Okay. तीसरा model है the person who is investing, he's running it, franchisor just gives it, right? Brand name देता है. Then there is
royalty लेता है.
हाँ रॉयल्टी लेता है. इसमें से all these models basically come down to the fact which one of these models should people
See,
do?
franchise owned, franchise operated becomes like more or less an in-house setup,
Yeah.
right? So that doesn't come into the picture. Usually, what happens by and large in the industry is that you have a model, you have 1 or 2 outlets that are doing decently well, and you put a bunch of beautiful, you gift wrap it beautifully, and you take it to investors who don't know any better, and you tell them that you no I'm it's true, it happens.
Explain again simpler words. Explain again. You don't have to sugarcoat this shit. This is happening, bro.
Okay,
This
fine.
is happening.
This is happening.
It's
yeah.
not.
Hindi.
I feel like right now franchisees are basically like मैं पैसा गवा रहा है अभी चल तेरा turn है तू भी
Correct,
पैसा गवा. Like
correct.
that is in a
I would
nutshell.
love
what-
to give examples, but I mean,
no,
I don't
let's
wanna
let's not do that, man.
Yeah,
I know too many examples which I don't want to fucking hurt.
exactly. So basically, what these guys do is that they sugarcoat the expectations and say that okay, fine, ye ऐसा support मिलेगा. We have a list of vendors. We have a list of equipment guys, interior guys. If you go out to do it on your own, you'll spend so X and X Y Z, and you'll save 50% of the cost going with us, and then you pay me the franchise fee. तुम्हारा outlet चलेगा क्योंकि इधर भी चलता है, and then
But इधर चलता है क्या?
उसने किया रहेगा अच्छे फुटफॉल एरिया में, या he might have cooked the books and shown you something, or genuinely चला रहेगा, but not necessarily. See, the thing is, if I'm doing well at one outlet, I come to you and I tell you that, listen, bro, pay me this franchise fee, I'll give you support, let's go out and do it. If my concern is just the franchise fee, I want to pocket the franchise fee, you're fucked. Because I'm not going to give you the support, I am not going to come and make your problems my problems, right? And there are quite a few people who operate that way. But if I make your problems my problems and I look at the bigger picture, that okay fine, franchise fee तो ठीक है 5-7 लाख रुपया ठीक है, ये तो आते रहेगा, पर I want every person who takes a franchise from me to do well, thereby in the long run 10 years later I'll be selling more franchises, then that's a different story.
So do you only make money through the franchise fee, or is there other ways that a company who is doing franchise makes money?
Royalty 7%.
So okay, one
of-
is okay. So I'm assuming that is your royalty. There is your fixed franchise fee, and I think there's also like the raw materials that they sell to the franchise.
Yes,
So there are
yes.
these are the three things, right?
Three
Like that
ways,
generally that they will make money
Yes.
out of. See, again, you need to understand there's a difference when I say okay. So when he said cafe, what he's trying to put up, it's very different from the cafes what you are thinking. So like for example, the example we spoke about is the Blue Tokai example, right? The Blue Tokai business model is incredible.
It's tremendous.
It's in bro.
Yeah.
Blue Tokai's retail market alone, standalone, is so fucking. It grosses, bro. Nescafe के साथ वो compete करेगा. Like not like that, but in the sense
Yeah.
where like they are able to move people from instant coffee to something that I'm drinking.
Correct.
I have a fucking
Pour-overs.
coffee machine, right?
Yeah.
And that shift is happening, and I understand. Innovation is going to be key if you're
Very
going
true.
to open something on this level, right?
Very
That's the
true.
reason Starbucks works. Starbucks is a business model people don't understand. How does Starbucks make money?
Tata का coffee है.
Starbucks makes money because they also have do you know the Starbucks cards? It's very interesting. So Starbucks cards, basically there's a lot of these bougie 17-year-old girls and these 16-year-old fuckboys out there who will have these Starbucks cards. I'm sorry. But
Correct.
like it's है.
मेरे
but
कॉलेज
है.
में है लोग.
and the thing is what Starbucks basically says is like तुम जैसा टॉप अप करते हो तुम्हारा कार्ड, तुम इतना
Correct.
चूतिया हो, तुम इधर हर दिन आ रहे हो 600 रुपए कॉफी के लिए, तुम ये कार्ड ले लो और तुमको कार्ड पे हम लोग डिस्काउंट देंगे, and like you basically
Yeah.
top it up with $1,000, $2,000,
Yeah.
$3,000 or whatever the
Correct.
fuck, right? This money, by the way, because Starbucks is so wide,
Vast, yeah.
so vast, you don't realize तुम्हारा जो 500 रुपए बैठा पड़ा है तुम्हारे कार्ड में from the last 1 month,
वो interest में कितना कमा रहा
वो,
है?
bro, they invested back in the
Correct.
market.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
invest that motherfucker in the market. Starbucks is a very big investor in startups.
Brilliant.
Second fucking business model.
Brilliant.
McDonald's real estate company है.
Yeah.
Like तुम
Probably not in India, but definitely in the United
yeah,
States.
United,
Yes.
the major business
Yeah.
model for this thing is they
Real
are a
estate.
fucking real estate
Because they
company.
own the plot of land that the franchisor operates on.
Yes, and people
Yeah.
don't realize when they look at shit like this, they're like, oh, we are going to be the next McDonald's. Mera franchise lo, chutiye. I'm like, gaana mara, unka business model dekh, mother
Correct.
chod. You don't understand how the fuck these motherfuckers are making
Correct.
money.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous because they're not even doing the research.
That's brings me back to when I said that good business sense is in buying the property. Like when you say 50-60 lakhs, I don't know Bombay में कुछ मिलेगा, पर Bangalore, Hyderabad में शायद से कुछ मिल जाए, you know. तो
But
वैसे
isn't that
कुछ
a risk to own a location? Like, wouldn't I rather just if that location doesn't work, I might as well just move it to another location.
See, you wouldn't buy shit property. You would buy commercial property in a good area which has footfall. You can always tailor make your outlet to cater to the kind of demand that exists in that location. Nobody's tying your hands and saying यही concept जो तुमने 2 साल पहले सोचा था वही पकड़ के चलो. तुम्हारा भी mindset खुलेगा, right? As you spend some time there.
And real estate is always going to grow.
Correct.
So you're not going to
lose money. If nothing and you fail at 2 or 3 ventures back to back, you can always rent it out and make the money, you know.
Fair enough.
Though
Now,
rental yields are not the best,
3%
but
to 4%
yeah,
right now. But
in
that's-
Bombay. Yeah.
But that's okay. But now we're going to move towards something that a lot of people are moving towards. That's cloud kitchen. And as we move towards cloud kitchen, we've got some food that we have to try out. Like this is something that I love because I've been been on keto. Now I know you don't see it, motherfuckers, and I don't give a fuck.
I do.
Baby, that's what's up, bro. I lost 17 kilos, by the way. I've lost 17 kilos. And of all my keto habits that has been fucking with me, there is one thing that Happie Calorie has that I'm fucking addicted to.
The vegan keto tarts.
The vegan keto tarts, which oh my fuck, we're gonna do this. Okay, just give me a second. Can you explain as I open this shit up? Because I want you to tell me what these things are. Okay.
Okay, so you know the tart, obviously. Yeah, that's the tart. It's almond flour crust, and inside it's coconut milk, stevia, and cocoa powder. And that's the sugar-free keto brownie.
Fuck me. Can you hear me say fuck me again and again? That's because that's every time I open this like I swear to God, every time I open this motherfucker's food, I'm just like, fuck me. Look at that. Look at how gooey that motherfucker is. You have no fucking idea. I think the entire podcast was just to make sure that I could eat that fucking food. Okay, I'm just gonna go for this, and then you're gonna take a bite after that. Okay? Oh fuck, bro. How does this have no sugar?
Because it has stevia.
Stevia chalega, but stevia still has that aftertaste which you are able to remove. I'm fucking this no fucking sugar in that motherfucker, bro.
पहली बार खाया पर बहुत मस्त है bro.
Bro, fuck, bro. I
Thank you.
love this. I fucking love this. What do we have here?
That's the keto brownie again.
Sexy क्या मस्त है ये
with
bro.
almond flour.
No, so give me back. I just told
There's
you.
another one in there,
No,
unless.
that Kiran store.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Give it back, bitch. You want a bite?
No, I'm good,
Keep
man.
having that in your own fucking restaurant. I don't know. Fuck.
Okay.
So cloud kitchens. How does one start a cloud kitchen?
I would say that 50-60 lakh capital that we just spoke about, it's the correct amount of money to go in for a cloud kitchen, which is license compliant on all fronts.
We have a lot more food. Okay.
Oh, we have a lot more food.
Okay. So, and, 50-60 lakhs.
Yeah.
All right.
20.
ठीक है. What do I need to know or learn before I even get into this game? Like, I want to do my research. I want to be like, मैं पैसा जलाने से पहले मेरे को कुछ सीखना पड़ेगा. What do you suggest I do?
See what your compliances are. I would say understand the licenses, understand what the requirements are. Go through FOSCA, go through FSSI. See what, because then like it might come across as boss ये तो कोई नहीं कर रहा है, ये क्या भगचोदी है, मेरे को क्यों ये सब में compliant कर रहा है.
That's what I was about to say. Like, you're talking about one thing that nobody ever fucking talks about. Like, everybody else will tell me other things, but you're the first person who's like, compliance देखो. क्यों?
क्योंकि लॉन्ग रन में उधर जाके तुम्हारा धंधा अटक सकता है. कल जाके कोई भी ऑफिशियल आके तुमको पूछ सकता है कि तुम कंप्लायंट क्यों नहीं हो. And do you really want your place shut even for one day in a running business because you have not been compliant, or tomorrow the landscape of the industry changes and you know people, because it's going to happen sooner or later and you are required to be compliant, then what are you going to do? You've just seen the,
This is so good. What is this?
that's a keto friendly lasagna.
That is keto friendly.
Yeah, it's a keto friendly chicken lasagna. Yeah.
Oh fuck, bro! I need to get a spoon. Okay, you continue talking about the FFS, whatever the fuck. I'm gonna get a spoon. I'm gonna get a spoon. Give me a second. Please continue. Please
No,
can
no.
you ask him more questions so that I
No,
can
I'll
just
wait for you, man.
No, you need to say that shit. No stopping us right now, motherfucker. I can't stop looking at that. I haven't had a lasagna in 4 months.
Seriously.
I haven't had, bro. I had 2 cheat days. I fell sick both the time. So now I'm afraid of food because my body has gotten so used
To being in ketosis.
ketosis. And like I'm also into intermittent fasting. So it's like
Lovely.
fucking
Yeah.
going ham. I also have this motherfucker, Ultra Human. Please give me free shit.
Yeah.
Sponsor us, please.
Sponsor. No, but fuck the sponsor. Just give me extra fucking things, no?
Nah.
This shit is like, I don't think any human should actually have this because it's too much information, and if you're paranoid, it'll fuck you.
First step towards being cyborg, bro. Part cyborg.
क्या
Yeah.
मस्त ऐड बनाया है ये लोग, क्या मस्त ऐड बनाया. But okay,
I haven't seen it though.
मैं जाके that first step towards being cyborg,
Mm-hmm.
उनका punchline,
Oh, really?
bro, that smell, bro.
So,
What do you do for the
lasagna sheets?
yeah?
We use grilled vegetables instead. And it's high protein because it is minced chicken. So, very few carbs.
So good. Bro, this is legit so good. I was afraid because keto shit is so disgusting.
Oh, everything in that bag is keto friendly, by the way. Everything.
Bro, this is
You should try the stuffed grilled chicken with sun-dried tomatoes.
bro.
भाई KFC बंद करना पड़ेगा फिर.
So मैं keto के नाम पे KFC भी खाता है. KFC भी खाता है, ठीक है. Now I know
हाँ देख
I
लो
did
KFC
not want to do this online, man.
No, but it's fine. Like you are still going to be in ketosis, but what's going to happen is your calorie intake is still going to be high because it's
No,
KFC.
I count that calories, bro.
Correct.
I don't have more than 1,200 calories a day.
That's lovely. You're in a good deficit.
Yeah, I'm in a beautiful desk. Like, fuck, 1 second.
Stuffed grilled chicken, sun-dried tomatoes, English cheddar, and cauli mash.
I have no idea what you just said. What the fuck is this?
That's
This
a
looks like bread.
mushroom pie, but the crust is made with almond flour, so it's keto.
I'm
Thai curry with cauli rice.
okay, but fuck, man, I'm gonna eat all of this. And
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna,
take-
we're gonna fucking
yeah,
dig
yeah.
through all of that. But
Yeah.
for the side note of things, on a lighter note, can you tell us about? Okay, so you have how many restaurants in total, cafes and F&B setups have you been a part of?
Have I been a part of or a self-owned?
Both.
Oh,
Okay, you can
self-
talk about both.
So, well, okay, fine. We'll go into the history a little bit. It's a family-run business that started off with.
And where can we find you?
Where can you find us? We are listed on all our online platforms. Sriji's and Quesso are located in Oshiwara, Andheri.
Okay.
And Sriji's was the initial one, started in 98, which is your old school Udupi vibe, you know. It has Punjabi, South Indian, everything. Where the business model basically is volume, right?
By the way, I genuinely believe that's the best business model. How long has it been fucking running?
It is 23 years now?
Fucking volume business, bro.
Volume, correct. But one of the adverse effects of being high volume is that you have a lot of staff. Today, a Sriji's would employ anywhere between 50 to 60 people, right? Just for that one particular restaurant.
Okay.
You know? Like post-pandemic, pre-pandemic.
How was pandemic, by the way? We have to speak about this.
It was
How was
hectic.
fucking
It was
pandemic,
hectic.
bro?
It
You
was
guys
like
had
starting-
it the hardest.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Cloud Kitchens
First to
had
go,
it
last to
well.
recover. First to go, last to recover was basically the story of the industry.
How did you survive, man?
Survived by keeping, honestly, survived by having less rentals, right? Because my properties were self-owned. So,
This is where your obsession with cell phone properties
oh
comes
yeah,
from.
dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And-
why you survived, huh?
Bro, and in Mumbai is a nightmare. Rentals,
Yeah,
जो भी
rentals
है.
is a nightmare in this
Yeah.
city. It is a nightmare, dude. Like, I don't know if you say 2,000 square feet, even in Borivali would go anywhere close to 5 lakh rupees. And I feel you need 2,000 square feet if you're going to do a half decent menu, and because your kitchen space is going to occupy 500 square feet. 1500 में तो तुम टेबल डालोगे.
Did you have to let go of people?
Not too many. In fact, keeping them around for those 3 months before they got an opportunity to go to their villages was difficult, but we managed it.
How did you survive that? Like in a genuine, because I think most businesses and people don't realize this, and people have been like fucking ridiculing. I hate those motherfuckers, you know, who like, oh, it didn't work. I'm like, गांडू तुम्हें समझ नहीं आता क्या धंधा क्या होता है पहला बार.
Correct. Yeah.
And to have survived the pandemic by itself in whatever state, even with a one person left in your company, is for me a a ridiculously large feat, because nobody today, nobody pre-pandemic had the capacity to run a business for more than 3 months. Nobody had the money
Cash
to
flow.
run cash flow for more than
Exactly.
3 months. 3
Yeah.
months is tops.
Yeah.
3 months से ज़्यादा operational cash flow किसके पास था? And to have survived how many years? What, 1.5 year? Pandemic.
I would say 2. In
2
our
years.
case 2, because फिर बीच में एक अप्रैल में आया, उधर भी apprehension बहुत बढ़ गया market में. Though there was not too much to worry about. You know, April 21, I think that was. Yeah, April 21, when Maharashtra announced serious
And
situation.
Maharashtra was affected really, really bad,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Like Bombay का माँ चुट चुका था. मैं गोवा में chill कर रहा था,
Yeah,
but Bombay was like fucked.
it was
Bombay
fucked.
was fucked.
it was tough.
And this is a genuine question, right? 3 things that have affected change in the F&B businesses: the incoming of Zomato, Swiggy, that is
Correct.
because you've come from all the eras. You've seen the eras move,
Correct,
right?
yes.
तो तुम्हारा एक perception of business pre Zomato, Swiggy, perception
Yes.
of business pre
I'll give you a fun fact what happened with us. Before Zomato and Swiggy, or even when they were just stepping up their food delivery operations, we had 22 of our own parcel boys to manage our daily home delivery orders.
22.
22.
भाई कितना धंधा कर रहा है तू?
श्री जी का वॉल्यूम हाई है, प्लस ऊपर से कैसो है, you know. So 22 of our own delivery boys, and post pandemic, and I wouldn't say pandemic, actually post Zomato, Swiggy taking away even our existing customers who were first calling us up for the order, as opposed, you know, to now they're just going on the app and ordering. Now we have 4, 22 to 4.
But you still have delivery boys.
I still do.
Why? But Zomato, Swiggy, I would assume you wouldn't need them anymore.
Yeah, but there are always, we still do get the odd phone call. We don't say no to any ticket size, you know. 50 रुपए का चाय भी 6 किलोमीटर दूर भेज देते हैं, you know. And to top it off, if you want good client servicing, कुछ कम ऑर्डर में कंप्लेन आया या कुछ दूसरा हुआ, आइटम को कोई भूल गया, I don't want, you know, him to be left high and dry. I want the customer to have a good experience. So
That shit makes a lot of difference in your industry. Like
does,
at the end
yeah.
of the day, it's food, your ambience, it's how you treat your customers, how responsive are you to the complaints
Yeah.
of the customers, and all of this kind of comes together.
yeah.
And sometimes maybe you might have all of it together and you might still fail.
Yeah, you might, because you have overextended yourself, right? Like everybody runs out of working capital at some point, and that's what all these people fail. That's where they fail.
But you can't really do anything about it other than bring in an external investor and shit like that. And most business, I think our generation are now being more open to the idea of external partners, and like, you know, I work with people who are my friends and things like that. Our parents' generation were very apprehensive of having partners who were external, right? Or investors who were external. Did that shift happen? Because you have taken over mostly.
Sorry?
You have taken over from your father.
Yeah.
Right.
Most operationals, yeah.
is that difficult to kind of take over? Is that because did you have to make changes in terms of how things were operating and how things are operating right now?
There were a few traditional mindsets that I had to fight, and I basically had to earn the length of my leash. And yeah, so it started off obviously when you come in new, everybody's and young mostly. You're new, you're young. People are, looking at you with an apprehensive eye and saying that, ये कल का लौंडा क्या उखाड़ेगा, नया क्या करेगा. But yes, there is a lot I learned from, the traditional mindset of how to run a business, the grassroots level.
They still survive. We are fucking up. I mean, on a genuine second question. I'm sorry, I'm going that side. But second question. Wealth has been demonized in general in our society.
Yeah.
Paisa is galat and
Yeah.
shaitan and all of that nonsense that comes
Yeah.
along with it, right?
Yeah.
Like, because money is bad, and especially they look at kids. When you're not a fucking kid, but people who
I was
have
a kid
been
when I joined the business. Yeah.
when you were handed down businesses, it's a thing where it's like, oh, he doesn't deserve it. He's getting a free hand. In like, you understand where
Fair
I'm coming
enough.
from,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that is something. Do you have to like? Was that in your mind, or is it something that never bothered you, or something that you had to work around and prove
It
extra?
never bothered me till I got into the business. Then I realized that this is something that people do look at. And then I had to like make sure that every decision I make had a positive monetary benefit, or if not, it improved my foundation of the business in some way.
Because if you fuck up, it's like,
Yeah,
ye chute, I knew it. बाप ने दिया, इसने क्या कमाया?
correct. But that's where the onus is on you. That's where you sit tight for 2 years, you learn the ropes, you observe.
Is it hard to put your foot down to your employees when you have been handed down a business? And you have not been handed down. I'm assuming.
If your corporate structure is good, putting a foot down on the employee side is not too much of a challenge. It becomes a challenge if you have like too many people. As I said, it's a family business, so too many people at the top end who have equal power. Their mindsets being a little different from each other, them not being on the same page. That's where putting a foot down becomes difficult. That's where you have to do one activity, deliver positive outcome, and as I said, that's how you earn the length of your leash. So,
But I think that's people talk about fucking ये Bollywood में क्या है नया buzzword, what is that fucking thing, Alia Bhatt, क्या है वो?
Yeah, Alia Bhatt.
Nepotism. Okay, let's start. Like, it's here's a funny thing. Okay, I don't give a fuck, and I'll tell you why I don't give a fuck. अगर मैं धंधा बनाएगा 100 करोड़ का धंधा बनाएगा, मेरे बच्चे को जाएगा.
correct.
तो उसका बाप इतना घिसा के इंडस्ट्री में नाम कमाए तो उसका बच्चा उसका लेवरेज यूज करेगा नहीं करेगा?
True.
तो हर इंडस्ट्री में, हर स्टैंडर्ड में, हर जगह दिस इज देयर.
Yeah.
No
it
matter
is.
what, if not you, the person you're complaining, who you have now established yourself as the leader of the fucking business, कल तेरा बच्चा तेरा एडवांटेज लेगा.
Yeah.
And तू तेरे बच्चे को एडवांटेज देगा.
Yeah.
Like, what is this whole problem with generational wealth being passed forward with our country? Like, what is because there is a genuine issue where people are like I hear people looking down on people
who
some of them deserve it because like bhai gaad mara, like fuck you, like some of you like, oh shit tum, like just shut the fuck up, like
Yeah.
like shut the fuck up. But
merit based everything has to be earned on the basis of merit, I feel.
I don't think so.
Then
I'll tell you why. Okay,
then that 100 crores is at risk, isn't it?
sure, 100 crores is at risk, but it is better than going to a mindset which has not been trained. What people don't realize about these legacies, okay, this father, the parental figure, ये उसके बच्चे को एक mindset सिखा रहा है बचपन
Very
से.
true, yeah.
Like, middle class India has been taught to live in
he
fear.
might be the dullest tool in the shed, but his outlook towards wealth and wealth creation is very different.
100%.
Yeah,
A rich,
yeah.
this rich brat, you might
Yeah.
call him a cunt, you might call him
Yeah.
whatever you want,
Yeah.
but उसके गांड में गुर्दे में दम है, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because the middle class mentality of scaring the living hell out of your kid has never happened to this kid.
Yeah.
This kid is a relentless, like, he's like, kya hi to har? What is losing?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there is a con to it, but that is, I think, one of the, like, I believe in order for you to build a business, it's about patience and perseverance.
Correct.
अगर तुम कुछ चीज के लिए you keep running after it, तुम जीतेगा.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, you'll have minor losses, but those are fucking battles.
Yeah. And those also have a lot of huge learning curves. I had a few losses when I started off. Like,
Can you walk us through some of them?
so I'm very bad with social media. I'm very bad with having, a website. मेरे को पता ही नहीं था 6 साल पहले ये सब क्या है. 8 years, more than 8 years ago. I didn't know how to get around these obstacles.
How old are you?
I am 31 now.
No, this is for the, I know, but like for their context.
31 now.
Okay, and how long have you been in the business?
32, sorry. Joined in 2012, but I would say was learning till 2014, 2015.
But what I'm talking about, the mindset was already delivered to you from when you were a kid, wasn't it? Or were you also like put in a fear mindset?
To be honest, yes, I came from the fear mindset because I also came from a middle class family. So,
How did you get out of that? Because there's a lot of it right now, I'm assuming.
I would say just like believe in yourself and then start showing positive outcomes in whatever you touch.
That's hard. It's easy to say believe in yourself, but like it's like one of those things. Na log bolte hain khud se pyar karo. Like, oh, I love myself. I'm
I
like,
have
it's
had my
fucking
moments of
ridiculous.
darkness and self doubt and darkness were there, but it's fine. I mean, that's how else do you get around it, right? You take the jump and then you jump in the pool and you start to swim.
What if you drown?
Then you drown. Then you're drowning nevertheless, right? If you're not going to do anything, what was I going to do? Sit on my ass or get a job when my father has worked for like 20 plus years and laid a foundation. I'm the only kid. I had to take up at some point.
Was it something that you wanted to do, or was it something that you had to do because there was a situation where you were like, if not me, then what? Like, do you know what I'm asking?
Yeah. It was a bit of both, but luckily I was very passionate about this,
But you seem like a kid. Even if you weren't passionate, you would have still fucking done it.
Maybe because at some point I had to take over the reins, right? And might as well do it at a younger age and learn then, as opposed to do it when my father can't do it anymore, the sort of stage he's at right now. And then now I have to come in having a job and everything else and then learn this and, manage all this.
Business by itself is hard. Okay.
Business by itself is hard. But business can also be very rewarding. I'm not saying monetarily, but you do have a certain amount of independence attached with it. I still
Kya independence, bro?
I
Like,
still feel-
I think we are bigger slaves to the people that we work for, and what we work for are our
the
consumers.
people who have jobs still get a lot more holidays.
They have a defined, like, I'll tell you,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, bhai, meko bata de, main 9 to 5 kar dunga. And I know it's, listen to me, I know you're going to fucking shit on this. I am sorry. I know. But holy fuck, I don't think people realize, like when people come and tell me, meko startup karna hai, I want to slap them and tell them, please don't, because this tests you on levels where tumhara pehla, it will first test you on the level of your self-image. कि तुम अपने आप के बारे में कुछ सोचते हो ना कि like मैं कुछ है like
very humbling.
Yeah,
It's gonna humble the fuck out of you, bitch.
on all levels, right? क्योंकि as a kid you're like, bro, मैं शेर है, like roar, right? And then you enter this industry and
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
तुम्हारी औकात सामने आती है. And I was talking to Yash about this, and I was talking to him like, especially at the top, especially when you are sitting at the top of the realm, especially for companies and projects that is so fucking client facing. तुम ना तुम्हारे इन्वेस्टर को कुछ बोल सकता है कि धंधा खराब चल रहा है, ना तुम तुम्हारे कंज्यूमर को दिखा सकता है कि धंधा, बिकॉज एक्सक्यूज तुम क्या ही, who are you fucking, it's not their job.
कस्टमर तो बोलेगा तो बंद करके घर पे जाओ.
हाँ. And you can't tell your partners, you can't talk to your employees because तुम्हारे employees will fucking, bro, they are looking at you for
They'll jump
hope.
ship.
You are standing there alone with your dick in your hand and you don't know how the fuck you're going to pay fucking salaries on the 5th of next month.
But trust me, there ain't nobody hustling as hard as a guy who started his own startup. That guy's the hardest hustler in the room, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
But
dude, so I come from a family which has had A plus credit rating, right? Whether it be financial institution or with our vendors, you know, great credit cycles and all of that. And when I started off on my own, I was like, there were days
and
where
to remind people, you came into a time where the shifts were happening drastically and fast. Like, jab
Dude,
tera baap tha,
I
there were
started
5
my own
restaurants.
company 4 months before the pandemic hit. You know,
How much money did you put in?
so far, I was
No. At that point,
When you started.
when I started.
Yeah.
Oh, the largest chunk of the money was put in at that point.
and how much was
But I
that?
was bootstrapped, so 30 lakhs.
Oh, that's okay, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
still money. Like,
yeah, that's still money, man. That's
that's a
I'm
lot of
मैं
fucking.
middle class
that's
है,
a-
bro. मेरे लिए
No,
बहुत
okay, what is
पैसा
this company exactly? Because you're not talking about the restaurant, I'm assuming.
No. White Apron Hospitality,
Okay.
which has been set up purely to do cloud kitchens.
So basically, what before because I want
Yeah.
people to understand. कल तुमको बॉम्बे में कुछ शुरू करने का है, brand शुरू करना है. You come to this man. He will help you build your
I'll
shit.
try my best.
He will help you make your shit happen. तुम्हारा restaurant से, cafe से, it doesn't matter. Now, say for example, you want to just start a brand, but you don't want to worry about the kitchen end of it, and you just want to kind of lean over to someone who knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Correct.
Because honestly, bro, you need it. तुम चूतिया मत बनो, because you can't fucking understand what the fuck you're doing,
When
and you're
you
already losing money.
Asked me about what projects we have done. We've also done a ton of BOT projects, build, operate, transfer.
What does that mean?
Investor has money. They have a certain idea in their mind. Mostly the idea is that boss मेरे को restaurant डालना है, तो आप कैसे आ सकते हो? So we give him end-to-end solution from kitchen, menu design, food consultants, equipments, staffing, license procurements, everything. खड़ा करके, run करके, and we get invested in such a way that we tend to make a lot of money if the restaurant does well.
What does that mean? You take a
Commission.
Okay, so you work on delivering the project. Like, agar
Yes.
if we are able
Build,
to finish this, we are also gonna make
We
money.
build, operate, transfer. So while we operate for that 1 year, 2 year window, whatever the investor is comfortable with, then we hand over the reins to the investor, because 2 साल हो गए, वो भी सीख गया क्या करना है, और अभी प्रोजेक्ट मोर और लेस ऑटो पायलट पे चल रहा है.
And what if, say, for example, I would come to you and say, मेरे को एक cafe डालने का है. How much money should I? You said what? 3.5 CR? 2 CR. 2 CR. Come, put it in our hands. We will help you set up the entire
No,
thing.
the money stays with you. The money stays with you.
Okay.
Dude, you are going to be in this for the next 15 years, right? So we help you with the connections in the industry. We say, okay, fine, license procure करना है, चल साथ में जाते BMC में, सिखाता हूँ तुमको. टाइम नहीं है, नो प्रॉब्लम, मैं करके दूंगा, पर आ मेरे साथ. इक्विपमेंट चाहिए, चल इक्विपमेंट वाले को मिलके जाते, कैट डिजाइन्स पे बैठते, लेआउट्स पे बैठते, साथ में करते, दिखाते हैं तुमको.
So if you want to learn, you can learn. If you want us to just build and hand over,
Yeah,
we can do that.
yeah.
But it's up to you.
Yeah, and payments is in your hand. आप check issue करना. You know, we don't want to take the onus of
How
it.
do you make money?
On the commission structure and a minimal fee that we take up front on consultation fee.
And how many of these have you already set up?
We've done like 4, 5 projects, 6 projects.
Is over a period of?
We started doing this around 10 years ago. So 10 years, 6 projects.
Oh, that's like, and you're talking about these are not small projects. These are
Some were small, some were big, some did exceptionally well while we were involved. 1, 2 went under also. That's because that guy was in, those people were involved in not just restaurants, but massive other projects like buildings and builders and all of that.
So should someone do it who doesn't have the time to run it? This is
No.
again what I'm coming.
No.
If you do not have the F&B, and I realize this.
If you're not willing to
F&B.
give it 5 years of your life, then don't do it.
So this is another thing I've figured out with F&B. F&B is your morning से लेके रात के
have to
बाद
be
का
available.
inventory से लेके तुम्हारा
Yeah.
सुबह everything you have to keep a fucking eye on it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, this is the last thing that we're going to talk about, and
Yeah.
I want to get it out of the way. This businesses as a whole takes a part of your soul.
If you let it.
Yeah, mostly. But How
Imagine a situation where you feel that, okay, I've been in the grind since 3 years. This has taken a part of my soul. But in the fifth year, it's taken off. And you're happy and you're taking the net home, a certain amount. You are on the cusp of doing your second outlet or your third outlet. Wouldn't that be rewarding?
so don't stop.
Don't stop. Be relentless. But be smart and be practical. 60 lakhs में Bombay में झाट होने वाला है. So I mean, it's true, bro. Like,
Be practical.
yeah, be practical.
Don't. And there's another thing where people lie to themselves before getting into the business.
Project cost जितना working capital रखो, if not more, क्योंकि वो तुम salaries, rent, raw materials, marketing, वो तुमको चीरने वाला है. तो project cost है उतना working capital रखो.
Your advice to the 21-year-old that got into this business, yourself.
Interesting. When experimenting with a new idea, put in less resources and less capital. Learn, because you are going to learn a lot and the learning is going to cost. So learn and then implement. Use the capital and the experience as a tool.
Last, and we're going to finish this with
Okay.
this last one. And this, I want you to think about it. I'm sure your businesses have had times where it has gone to a point where you did not know what the fuck is next,
Correct.
right?
Very
Because
recently,
we've all been there. And that is probably the darkest fucking hour
Correct.
for us, because number one, pura confidence, self-image, baki ka tumhara, everything gets
Yeah,
fucking shattered and you
yeah,
don't have
yeah.
fucking time for it. At that moment, you don't think there is something that's going to come forward after that.
True.
Right now, you're in a better place.
Yeah.
What would you tell him?
What would I tell the person who was going through a dark phase?
To yourself,
To myself?
going through that period, like what, 4 months ago, 3 months ago?
Pandemic.
Mic pass kar le.
My Pascal. I would tell myself, this too shall pass, I guess, if I'm being very cliche. But no, man. I would say solve one problem at a time. Solve one problem at a time. Do not let the number of problems overwhelm you. Solve one problem at a time.
On that note, we have Dhanwin. Dhanwin, can we do a plug-in for all of your, whatever you want to plug in? Like, how can they connect with you? How can they get in touch with you? What your restaurants are? Go for it.
Shriji's, Quesso, Happie Calories.
We're going to put these things here.
And coming up with the Mexican venture soon. So stay tuned, I guess.
All right. And if you want him as a consultant, you can go hit him up on Instagram. We're going to put his links in the bio. You can go check that shit out. And on that note, bro, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for
having me.
fucking amazing food.